I'm just getting it set up so I can make sure I'm in frame really well. Welcome in, welcome in. Gotta wait till it loads on my iPad and everything. So we're gonna wait a few minutes before we get started. We're gonna wait until 11. But I do see a few people in here. Hello. Gotta try to find it on my actual iPad here. All right, Tammy. Yeah, you're gonna have to paint some with me now. I'm using pastels today, but you can use whatever color combination you want as long as you have like the black and the white for the lining at the end here. So welcome in, welcome in. Let's see here. I wanted to use, I think I logged in as myself here. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure comments disappear after the live. So when I talk back and forth with the comments, it sometimes is confusing on the replay, but I don't really care all that much. The replay, if you're watching the replay, just wait and hang out a little bit. I usually takes a few minutes to get going. We got about 3 minutes till 11, so I am not gonna start the tutorial till then. I just wanted to get my camera up and running so I could make sure I had a good angle for the design, and that get the iPad up because I can see the comments on there so much better. I'm excited to do this one. You guys, I got distracted this morning. Obviously, it's Thursday. I usually was trying to do Mondays for lives, but Thursday was, I think, the second highest voted number when we did the poll before. So, hello, hello. Yep, 3 minutes till 3. Oh, okay. Well, at least it's 3 in the afternoon, I guess. I try to wait until later here because I'm on the East Coast of the United States. So for the West Coast, it's 3 hours earlier there. So I try not to go on too early. Well, welcome in, Michelle. I'm glad you caught us live today. Wait, go Tex. You can share the tutorials in your group. I try actually not to join too many of the local style groups. I used to a lot. I was doing that a lot at the beginning, and I was getting so confused of where I shared things, and it got a little overwhelming. So I did go back out of local style groups, but you can share from our Facebook page or here from YouTube. The YouTube shares onto Facebook don't always do that great. I mean, obviously Facebook doesn't love to promote YouTube. But that's why I've been dropping the links to these in the broadcast, and I'll talk about that a little bit as we get into the tutorial because I feel like people watching the replay will skip right over all this chit chat here at the beginning. Hello, Janet, welcome in. Scotland, that's so cool. That's so cool to me about social media, the fact that there's people in Texas and in Florida and in Scotland, and that is just so cool to me. Oh, thank you for recommending, Lisa. You guys are loving your weather. So we went from being beautiful, we had our Fool's Spring, super beautiful weather, and then now today the high today was at midnight of last night, or 12:01 a.m. was the high of the day, and we're getting colder and colder and colder. All right, guys, we got about 1 more minute. Got a handful of people in here watching today. For everybody watching today, will be real time. So if you want to gather any supplies, it is 11. So I'll officially start. I am using the largest ones I have. These are the 5M Posca pens, which is considered the medium tip. These things get huge. I mean, we use the smaller ones, obviously, for a lot of our designs. So I don't use these larger ones very often, but for this design, they work great. So if you have that size, this is a good way to use them up. You can also use, this is the 3M size. So that's considered fine tip. And then I have an extra fine tip of my black. The white and black could go either way. I prefer the extra tight line of the black at the end, but if you have a fairly fresh black like the 3M, it actually has a pretty fine tip. Janice, she said she fell in love with us when 2017 she could blend her postcard. That was probably the very first, one of the very, very first tutorials. I think we started doing tutorials in 2017 on Facebook, and then we started the website in 2018. So, and we've been around for a long time, everybody. So, all right, we're gonna get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do, obviously I'm using pastel colors. These are from the quote unquote natural pack. I don't understand why they call them that. These are pastel-y to me. You can do this design with any colors you want. I'm kind of in the pastel mood, trying to will spring back to come. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a grid. If you guys, I'm assuming a lot of you guys are in the broadcast, but if you're not, so I shared my little doodle. I was sitting at my desk this morning and I decided I was just kind of in a doodly mood, and I was doodling these hearts and I just love how they were. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make a big grid of them and we're gonna go live today. I don't care that it was unplanned. That's usually how I do it. If I'm gonna paint them anyways, I might as well paint them live. Luckily here on YouTube, the download is pretty good. So I can take this live and I make the little 3-minute tutorials and the shorts and all that stuff from there. So if you like the real time, you're in the right place. If this is a little long of a format for you, stay tuned, follow along the channel. You'll see it in its cute little 3-minute tutorial style as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am taking an actual ruler and I'm going to create just a sketchy line with a pencil to create kind of my grids. I'm going to break this up into a bunch of squares. So I'm going to have 2 hearts. I'm only going to do 1 vertical line. I'm sorry, 1 horizontal line here, but I'm going to do 2 on these and 2 on these. So you'll see, I kind of laid them out. You can do just 1 stone. I just thought this would be so cool to have a whole handful of these when they were all said and done. So I'm just going to use just a really light one. And the only reason I'm putting down this first is because I do want to color block the backgrounds. So this one I'm going to cut in half, and that will be about at the 3rd place on this. So we're going to go straight down all 3 of these rocks. And again, I'm using a ruler, but I'm not being like overly crazy with it yet. I'll be nice and straight when I come through. So this actually might have an edge over here because we do. Yeah, that seems too close. See, I got my white eraser here. I want these a little bit wider. Oh, I love having a white eraser. The pink ones sometimes will leave like a smudgy, and you can tell if it's dirty. So like if it's dirty, you can erase it on the paper until it's not. All right, we're gonna scoot this guy over just a smidge because I want this to kind of come in between these 2. So maybe more like the width of the ruler. There we go. That's a little bit better what I was thinking. Okay. And then I do want to have an edge on this one. Okay. And we are going to get that little tiny edge on this one over here maybe. All right. And then this is going to be about here. Make sure guys seeing all this okay? I got a big giant, this mountain of stones over here on the side, which I love that I have, you guys. I'm so excited about being able to order these. Every time that I would go to Hobby Lobby, I would buy them out of these white slices because I don't know if they just ordered a couple bags at a time, you know, so sometimes I would go and they would have, 2, sometimes they'd have 1, sometimes they wouldn't have any of the actual white slices. So I would get the kind of creamy colored ones sometimes. So the topper, I'm just going to do I'm going to do 2 hearts on each one. So I'm going to decide later with the black if I want to have like the actual, because I did do an outline around. So I don't know if I'm going to actually do like a straight line or not. I can come back and do that later. That's not going to hurt anything. This is just for color blocking the backgrounds anyways. So we can go right down the middle of these 2. Is anybody painting along with me today? I saw somebody say they had rinsed off some rocks. Let's see here. I'm going to do the same thing here. This design is super forgiving too. Like some people have a hard time drawing symmetrical hearts. I have a hard time drawing symmetrical hearts, but like this, it's almost more fun if they're not symmetrical. So I actually have a couple things I'm going to point out for that as well. Tammy, you are awesome. No, maybe I'm doing this many, so if you're doing one or two, maybe we'll land at the same time. But this is really good for doing a bunch of rocks too. So I'm just gonna take my this is my biggest one that I have size-wise. Make sure my paint's flowing well, and I am going to very lightly kind of fill in some of my squares, and it's okay to go over your lines. I actually encourage going past the line a little bit here and there. And I'm just gonna work diagonally down my design. So that'd be this one. Whoop. And then, I mean, technically, let's see, that would go here, maybe. I mean, when I place these out, they're not gonna be lining these all up together. So I could do whatever I want really with this. I'm just having fun with it. So 1, 2, so then this one. I got 3 colors here. You can do these with whatever colors you want or have. I'm doing 3 colors. And I am working right on my rocks. The only thing I did to prep these rocks is I like rinsed them off with water, but these are a little bit dusty, so just make sure every once in a while you're doodling the tip of your rock off a little bit, because that will get in there. Let's see, now I feel like 1, 2, this one here. Basically, if you're looking at them this way, it would be every 3rd rock, or if you're looking at it this way, or not rock, every 3rd square. So see, this is teal, blank, blank, teal. So, and then this one wouldn't have either, no teal. That would not, blank, blank. So I think we're good. All right, we'll come back with our yellow. We're just gonna do the same thing. I'm just color blocking. I'm trying not to, I just hit it. I'm gonna try not to actually blend my colors on this because I like the way it looks to have them separated. So if you get a little bit on your tip, doodle it off. Just try to give yourself a little space. So now I'm working to the right of the teal is gonna be my yellow. So we can come back and add a little bit more. Just get kind of as close as you can. And you can kind of get in there a little bit. Like if you want to kind of overlap, just make sure. I love these rocks. They really do kind of suck in the paint a little bit. So they do dry relatively quick, since they have like kind of a very porous. So I mean, they're drying pretty fast here. Ah, that wasn't bright enough yet. All right, by the time it's all said and done, you won't be able to see that anymore. All right, so that would be this one. This one. I mean, it makes sense if I did the ones that weren't touching the teal first, right? Okay, so it would be this one here. So there's a tip that, you know, sometimes I learn things the hard way, you guys. So, I mean, obviously you could do the ones that aren't touching the teal first. That makes things a little bit less likely to smudge together. Make sure you kind of, I like to have it kind of bleed over in a few places. Let's see where we can. Let's see, should that, this one here. Okay, so that should be pink, 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 pink. That one here. Pink, pink, pink. Okay. Last color here. Lisa, you know, sometimes the hard way is just, you know, especially with the paint pens, like I feel like, well, not even necessarily the hard way, the long way maybe. mean, I blend with my paint pens just right on the tips now. I used to pull out a brush. I mean, I'll pull out a brush from time to time now, but you can just blend with your paint pen tips. I was so nervous when I first got them. Just be so careful with them. And the fact, so this size can flip over as well. So if over time you wear down the tip of these, this is another thing I learned the hard way though. Doodle off the tip. See, I must have touched this to another color before I used it last. Got a little teal on there. So doodle it off first. All right, so I'm gonna do the ones touching teal first here. Last color. I am using the side of my paint pen a little bit here as well, just because, I mean, obviously I'm not trying to get a super fine tip, and that kind of will preserve the tip of your paint pen a little bit too. I'm gonna actually come up to here a little. Third color, you can have a little bit more fun. And then I'm gonna come back with the teal last. Okay, so, and on this, I might come back with the teal and just add a little bit on the sides of this, maybe, we'll see. I just love the color teal, so I was so excited when I had a pack that could actually give me a little bit of teal. All right, this one's gonna be all pink. Hopefully my hand's not in the way on this one, but it's okay. He's a mini. I'm just coloring in pink. I know I'm totally blocking it. Where are my camera angles at? All right. Let's see here. You can see if I do this, maybe. We'll work our way back. So I know I mentioned the broadcast before. So while I'm finishing these up, I am going to bring that up again. If you are in here because you follow the broadcast on Facebook, that is great. If you're not, the link is in the description, so you can be. When I try to share the links to these, it doesn't get anywhere anyways on Facebook. So I've started just, if I'm gonna go live, I share the link into the broadcast and let you know when it's scheduled for, but it's usually the same day, or maybe the day before. But in order to get that link, I have to have it like scheduled. So it's actually in the books when I do it that way. And obviously, if you don't do Facebook, you can turn notifications on here on YouTube, just pretty simple as well. So that you get notified for the live, because the live is the only time I'm going to have like real, you can see absolutely everything I'm doing. You could paint along with the style that I edit for Facebook. You can't really paint along with those. They're more like inspiration. You can obviously paint and pause, but if you like this, the real time, that's why I like to do it live first, because then people that need to actually watch it can. You can see it in real time. You can paint along with it. I mean, I know sometimes I get kind of fast, but I'm also doing quite a few rocks today, so I'm just kind of try to keep moving along here. This guy up here. Almost last square, and then we're going to go back with our teal just to kind of add a little teal on top on a few and get that edge over there a little bit. This guy's going to be a completely different style. So this is just a lot of different combinations. We can kind of tell at the end what we like, what we don't like. I've literally never painted this on a rock. Lisa, I'm glad you are painting with us. Yes, you can ask questions when it's live. As you can tell, sometimes I get delayed because I'm not looking at my screen that often. So I am going back with the yellow here, just in a couple places, because this yellow didn't quite make it to the edge. And yellow just doesn't cover as well as some of the other colors. I know something about the pigment of yellow. Like the blues and the purples are like my favorite. They always just cover so good. The teal covers great, as you can see. Let's see, I wanted to cover this teal. There we go. This to the edge down here. And it's okay to have some white in there. I'm not trying to cover all the white necessarily. I just want to kind of have a good balance of the colors bleeding over each other from time to time. Like I just want to have a few places where the teal's the one that kind of goes over the top. Just to kind of have some balance. Just play. Like I said, these ones are very forgiving because it's not a serious copy and paste style design. All right. Now I do suggest to let these dry just a little bit. This pale yellow is from this is the pastel one, or from the Naturals pack. They do come in the 3 different sizes though, so you might have to go to the paint pens link to get to all the different sizes of this one. I think in the standard one, I think I just have the 3M. I had the 3M ones for the longest time, the fine tip one, which is this size, which you could definitely do these stones with that. I just noticed there was color on there. Yeah, you could definitely do these with the 3M as well. But my daughter had bought these for a project she was doing. She got these in the big ones and the itty bitty ones. And I was so excited because now I have the extra fine tips of all of these ones too. All right, so the next thing we're going to do on these is we are going to mix and match. So I want the heart. We're going to, backing up. We're going to sketch a heart on each one of these first with our black. This is definitely a layer style design. So we're going to do black, a color that's not the same as the square, and then we're going to do white and then black again. So it's definitely a layered look. So the first black one, you basically aren't going to see when it's all done, but it gives you some place to just come through with your bigger paint pen to add your color to the heart. Because as you can see, some of the hearts we filled in, some of the hearts we did, an outline only on one side. So you just want to have a heart to go with, or some of them we did 2 hearts. So the hardest part about this design is trying to turn your brain off just a little bit so you don't try to do a perfect heart. I am going to pick these up one at a time while I do this because I feel like if I try to stretch my arm out and over, I'm going to get really sloppy. So I'm going to scoot this guy up here. Now you can see my nice messy table here. Let me get another piece of paper because that's just going to drive me crazy. Okay, let's just stick this here. All right, so I'm just going to work my way through each one of these stones and create the hearts on here. So when I'm trying not to do a perfect heart, a lot of times I won't do the arch. I will create one way, stop at the bottom and come back up because it fools my brain. And I'm going to do 2 on each one. It fools my brain into not trying to follow the motion, okay? So again, you can kind of go down and then back up, try to stretch one the other way. I try not to actually stay on the line the second time. Like make it sloppy. I know it's so hard to kind of do that, but you have to make it sloppy. This one I'm going to do 2. See, you can go over. This one we're going to have small on this side and kind of big on this side because that's just the shape. Okay, like try to make it sloppy. Most of this black line is going to be covered, but it's just about the placement. Okay, trust the process with these, you guys. This is a trust the process style of rock. Now, since this one only has 2, I'm going to do little doubles on both of them. So I'm going to go here. Whoa, that got way out there. So now we're going to fix it, come way back in. And we're going to do a little mini one over here. Just like that. Just really sloppy. Make your brain let you to be sloppy. Okay, and you can add little dashes and dots and stuff, like little hashes, because you can come back and add to those as well. This is going to have an itty bitty one up here. I know right now, if somebody comes into this live right now, they're going to see this and be like, what is she doing? She can't draw a heart. But I promise they come together. You can't see the sketch. Oh yeah, you can. You can see the sketch. Let's see here. Let's do 2 up here. So let's kind of bump into the side. There we go. Let's do a tall, skinny one here. That's the thing too. Hearts can be tall and skinny. They can be short and stubby. Like they can go so many different ways. Now this one, I've kind of zhuzhed it in here a little bit, but I think it would probably stand better if it was kind of more like this. So he'll be a little sideways when it's all said and done. That's fine. And he's sitting there. Let's make this one a really wide heart. Ooh, we kind of went over the edge there, and that's okay. Watch out for lumps and bumps in your rocks. They will cause your paint pen to splatter sometimes, but with this design, it really doesn't matter. Let's do a tall, skinny. Okay, and a little side, big side. The little side, big side ones work really well close to the edge of the rock as well. You can see here, let's add. Just kind of, if you put some things down on the rock, that will help you come back and add a little bit of a color pop to that afterwards as well. So again, if you're just joining in now, trust the process. It's gonna look beautiful. These are really fun. And like I said, super forgiving, because guess what? If your brain likes to draw perfect hearts, that makes it even harder. So you wanna let yourself get these wonky, crazy little hearts all over your rocks here. Try not to line those lines up. Let's do a really wide little heart down here. This one can be kind of way out on the side, on that side, a little on this side. There we go. Working our way through here. I sure can. So here we go. Hold that one up for you. So see, I'm really trying hard. I'm trying not to actually trace the same heart. I'm trying to create these different lines, because then when we come through with our thicker pen, one of them is going to stick out. One part of that might still show. And we're going to do a nice lining at the end on the top when we're done, where we'll take our time and really try to make everything pretty. But having these gaps is going to give us like this layering, and that's what we're kind of going for. So gaps, hashes. So this one I didn't do any. We can do dash, dash down here. Just use the extra little designs to fill in the space a little bit. Like you'll be able to do dots and stuff. Like some of those will end up covered anyways. So, but you can do it now with the black just to kind of hold its place. So again, when you're doing the hearts, I really highly recommend doing it kind of wonky from the bottom like that, because the thing with me, at least when I'm drawing a heart, like a standard heart, I try to kind of arch in the same thing. I start in the middle and come down, because it's kind of similar. You're doing a similar motion when you do that and then that. So if you come up from the bottom, it's really hard to try to mirror the other side, which helps you get your wonky rocks. I am doodling off to the side and up here a little bit, often just because I am going right on these paint pens that have not really had a full amount of time to dry. So I am pulling up a little bit of paint. Getting a little bit of shake here. Just want to make sure it's not, if your paint pen's flowing really well, it shouldn't actually be a big problem. So now that we kind of shake it up a little, okay, a couple more up here. I'm going to just do 2 tall skinnies on this one. get something in my tip. It just seems like it's not flowing very well. Okay. All right. So this one, let's do like a little mini, big one underneath, big one over here. Oh my gosh, I never have this happen. You gotta love when you're live and your pen stops working on you. I've got like 10 different pens. I feel like there's something like in here. I'll make sure it's working really good when we do our last layer. All right. We're gonna do something with that. All right, cool. Layer one's done. I love wonky. Yes, wonky's good. Wonky's easier to replicate. A lot easier to replicate, and we're a lot less judgmental with ourselves when we're doing wonky designs on purpose. Like, I feel like that's kind of a thing that becomes a problem, is if we're trying to replicate something that's perfect, then we're harder on ourselves. All right. Little water break there. All right, next layer is going to be a color of your choice that doesn't match the background, quote unquote, background color of the design. So this one would not be teal. This one could be teal, or this one could be teal. These could both be teal, and then these could be pink and yellow. That could be fun. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm not going to be like, all the teal ones will have pink, or, you know, I want them to be kind of mixed and matched. In fact, I might make sure that that doesn't happen. So like on this one that's got 6, like maybe I'll have this teal one be yellow and this teal one be pink and this, you know, so just this part, I'm not worried about the pattern or anything like that. So I am going to do that. I'm going to do teal for these two, and then I'm going to do these one of each. So we're going to just either fill in our heart. We're going to color just the outline sketch style of our heart. If you had a heart that kind of got away from you a little bit, you could do something with that. I actually just changed my mind in real time here. I'm going to do yellow on these hearts because I did get some teal behind that one. So I don't want it to blend into the teal. So I'm actually going to do yellow on these. I'm going to do teal on this one. So same with the background, kind of sloppy, okay? If you did a hash or something like this, go over that. We're going to do black on it at the end again, but you want to have that color in there. All right, so I'm going to go right along the inside of this one. And I'm going to go over the edge. Simple as that. Again, I know these, trust the process. Did somebody ask about the rocks and I missed it? Because somebody just said, I think she said Hobby Lobby. Did I miss a comment? Maria, where did I get the rocks? So these rocks you can get at Hobby Lobby, but I did find them on Amazon. So they are in the all supplies link now for on the YouTube channel. So like in the description of this post, there's a all supplies link, and I have them in there now because you can get a big bag of them. Now, I think the one I linked to is probably the one that was 50 rocks, but they have smaller sets of rocks too. If you don't need 50, you can see the mountain over here on the side, but I paint a lot of rocks, so 50 was good for me. I will go through them for sure, but I was always buying out all the ones that Hobby Lobby had. So I'm going to go ahead and color this one in yellow. There we go. And I'm going to do pinks. Do this one pink. You could go just around one side. So since this one has one big side, one little side, you can just do one side. That you actually do the whole thing and kind of a dash. You literally can do anything you want with these, you guys. The only thing you have to do is trust the process, because they look sloppy. I know. All about the layering. And doodle your tips. See, I got some black in on that one. These do bode well, I think, if you can have a little bit more dry time. I was working when I was doing my doodle, so I kind of had some dry time in between. So we're gonna go Let's do teal up here too. We'll do teal on pink and teal on black in there. So again, look at that. So you get it in there, just, and that's why I have so many papers around me that look like this. That's why a lot of times after my designs, when you see the pictures, I put them on top of my doodle page because I think, oh, there we go, back to, so let's go. Okay. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just go over stuff with teal first. And you can mix and match. Like this one, I can do all three. There's no rules, you guys. I think we already established that, right? So we're going to do this one like that. Let's do, I'll do the pink on the bottom on this one, and we'll do teal in here. We can do teal on this one. All right, let's get some pink action down. I'm gonna do the yellow last because the yellow was pulling up the most. Yeah, all the supplies are in the description. I don't know if you get to the description while we're live? I'm not sure. I think you maybe can hit like the more and get to them. If not, once this is live, I don't know how long it takes for it to like finish processing to show up on the page, but it will be there eventually for the replay, and then it will have the description filled out completely. I have my blow dryer. I should have hit these up. I might before I do my final lining. Yep, I'll pick one to hold up here in just a second. Here, I'm doing pink on this one, so I don't know if there was a specific one that you wanted to see. So for this one, we're gonna do our ziggy zag over here with the pink. And let's fill this guy in. And when you fill them in, you can do like a good fill in, or you can just do a scribble fill in, have it go over the lines a little bit too. This one I'm gonna do pink inside. Okay. This one I think I'm gonna do yellow there. So yellow, yellow. One will be filled and one will be lined. Let's see, pink, 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 pink. We'll do yellow, yellow. Let's do pink over here. Again, if you don't see a lot of the heart left from your black heart, that's okay. We're doing the black at the end too. So you really don't even need any of the black to show through at this point in time. It was more just to give you a layout, like how many hearts are you gonna have? What size of heart are you gonna have? Don't worry about if you cover all of the black, okay? I don't want you to think about that. We're actually kind of using the black as our template to figure out what to color. So this one, let's do the outline. I'm gonna cover these. Okay. Yellow there. that should be teal. So I need my teal back out. Okay. Let's do some yellow ones. So again, you can kind of it's like you can color outside the lines. My younger self would never. Let's see, do the other side of this heart in yellow. This one's good. This one I could do yellow here. I'll go back on that one. I think let's fill this one yellow. Not a specific one. Oh, it just makes it bigger for you to see what I'm doing. I see what you're saying. All right. I just wanted to make sure that I try to hold them up for a little bit, but sometimes I get like wobbly. I try to brace my arm and do it. But it's funny because like you would think it's not heavy. It's just holding something really still while applying pressure on top of it can get tricky sometimes. But yes, I can hold it up here. When I get to the final end, especially, I'll make sure I really hold it up for you. I'm getting a lot of black in here with this. I'll make sure that I go back over some of these too. All right, did we get all of them though? Does all of them have something? No, right there. And if you're joining in, I don't know, it says 14 over there, so I think we probably have the same people. But if you are, I promise, trust the process. We're getting here. They're coming together. They're going to be so cool. Let's see. Let's do pink here because we don't have any pink on this one. So we're going to actually, let's go ahead and fill these for the most part. All right. You're only doing 2, but you're behind. Are you letting them dry a little bit better? Because I should be a little behind, but I actually have plenty of time today, so I should just slow down. Sometimes I think I say this all the time when I'm live. I feel like sometimes, oh, there's people watching. They don't have all day. Well, you know what? You can come back and you just slow down sometimes and really just trust the process, enjoy the process. I need yellow on this guy twice. This one's missing 2 spots. And if you want to go back and add, you can come back and just add in some yellow in this one. You can double it up, like I could do yellow all the way inside this heart. You can have different layers, okay? So let's go ahead and trace this one. And let's go ahead and fill this one. Got a little black in there, but we're just going to go ahead and finish filling it so it's single coat here. Okay. I think the hardest part about being live is normally I always have music on when I'm painting and crafting. I can't play music because if I don't own the rights to the music, I can't have it on here. There we go. Looking for ones that got muddied up to kind of touch up here. Let's see if we can do a second layer on this yellow. Now when I do a second layer, I use such light pressure. If your paint pen's not flowing to where the lightest pressure is putting paint down, then you need to get it flowing better before you do a second coat. Okay. All right, now that I got most of this, I'm gonna pull this sheet out of the way. we're gonna pull you guys all back down here. I'll just pick them up when I'm working on them. I think that works better anyways, 'cause I like you guys being able to see. All right, so we're gonna let these layers have a little bit of time here while we do our black lining, okay? Now, same with everything else, our black lining, separating the squares is slightly sketchy, but we're gonna draw it on straight first, and then we're gonna kind of sketch it up and muck it up a little bit, okay? So I gotta make sure my paint pen is moving here. Seems like it has some dryness to it. I want to work whatever that is through the tip. There we go. I feel like that's better. Okay. So every once in a while it can happen, you guys. Like if it's not it doesn't mean it's out of paint. Okay, so my camera. So it's funny because I can't really take a picture of my setup because I actually do these lives on my phone. And Tammy, you don't want to hear me sing. Sorry. So I can't really take a picture. I have this like weird wonky arm thing, but I do struggle with that. I'm always trying to find like what is the best angle, what works the best to show what I'm doing without me hitting my head. But it's right above my head. So if I put my face over, that's where I'm at. So it is a little challenging. It's something I'm always working on, trying to get the best angles. I should have done this part before I slid it back down because I don't want to place, I guess I could do that like this. All right, so we're gonna do our lines. I'm sliding back up. I shouldn't have slid down yet because I can't hold this up while I do this because I have to use pressure with a ruler. All right, so we're just gonna, each rock, I'm gonna place it down. I know you can't really even see where the pencil lines were. Again, this is not measured out or anything, so it doesn't really matter, but I do want the straight line, so I'm gonna place my ruler down. Remember, you have a thickness to your paint pen. Even the thin ones have a thickness, so you have to adjust for that slightly. A trick we used to do, and I did take art classes, is if you're not sure about your thickness, if you place your writing utensil or your pen down first, and then you bring your device up to where your thickness is, that will help you kind of place it where you want. Okay, we're gonna go all the way up and down there, just like that. We'll muddy up the lines later. I do have the side one here, so I'm gonna place it, and then we'll follow. And even though we're gonna muddy them up, I do want these lines to be straight. So I'm using the ruler on this. This one's a little bit on the side. Okay. Also be careful, so my ruler, every once in a while, maybe want to make sure you don't have any paint that's bled over, because then when you press it down, you might end up with it on your rock. Okay. I don't know if I guess I wasn't paying attention. I hope I'm been in the camera on those. This is a really big ruler. I mean, I don't know where I could be working with something a little more reasonable. Let me grab something smaller. I'm like poking myself. Test. I mean, it doesn't have to be a ruler. Anything with a straight edge. So this is just a popsicle stick. My daughter colored for me a long time ago. We're gonna use this instead because now I can stay in frame a little bit easier. So here, there. Go. And the designs can go into the line in the center. They can overlap, whatever you want. So don't worry about that. If your heart went past where your line was at, that's okay. Don't even think about that twice. I'm just aiming for my lines because you can kind of see them through in a couple places, because like the yellow, and I don't want to see it. So if I cover it up, you won't see it anymore. sort of see it there. So you ladies that are painting this live with me, make sure you take a picture when I post it on Facebook. Come back and share. I make it look easy. Well, you know, like was it Janet that mentioned? I mean, I have been filming and doing tutorials since 2000. It might have been the very end of 2017. I know 2018 was the first post on the website. So, I mean, it's not necessary. I'm not going to say it's easy for me. I still get nervous before I go live. It does remind me that if you used like more, so Tammy said it reminded her of the 80s. I have to read the comments because they don't always transfer over to the replays. And if you did this with more like neon style colors, oh my gosh, you would be totally 80s coded. Let's see here. Maybe it's a little bit inspired, but you know what? They did kind of use these colors though a little bit too, didn't they? I'm an 80s baby, but I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 84. All right. Okay. Getting there. I think this is the last one. I gotta figure out if I'm gonna kind of zhuzh an edge on that one a little bit, even though it's all by itself on there. I think it's the only one with one heart, so I feel like it needs something on it. And I'm just going right up over the edges too. There we go. All right. Oh, hello, Jessica. Yes, I'm very spring. You know what? We had a couple really, really warm, springy days, and it got me so excited. And then now it's not springy anymore. So, but I'm keeping the spring in my brain. Oh, with the rocks. These are Trust the Process rocks. I know you just popped in, so I'm just going to say, you know, anybody else just popping in, you have to trust the process. All right, so I am going to peek back now anywhere where my yellow isn't very bright. Now that it's had a second to kind of chill out and dry, I'm going to come back on these yellows because I do want the yellow to be bright. I don't want it to be dull and dingy from the black. Now, if it's kind of slightly opaque and you can see the color through it, that's not as bad. But I don't like when the black is blended into the color because it just makes it look muddy. So I am nice and yellow here. There we go. All right, so if you were paying attention at the beginning, if you were here at the beginning, the next layer we're gonna do is actually white. Let's see here. So, I would have loved, 70s were pretty cool. I feel like 90s kids, we kind of got a little bit of both. We had the pre-socials and the post-socials, pre-internet, post-internet, a little bit of both. All right. Not that I'm claiming we're the best. I think every generation has its pros and cons. Okay, so white is next, and I do need to be patient. I gotta wait on my white because white gets muddy really easy. So let's go back to these outlines. So we don't want these to be such rigid little lines. Oh, I never added a line on this one. Let's go ahead and add a line on here. So technically it would sit like that. So we're gonna do kind of like this. We're gonna fudge one right here, just a little one. And maybe like All right. I got to keep them in order though, because it's going to make a really cute photograph when I'm done. If I keep the design somewhat in order, it's kind of a grid here we got going on here. There we go. All right. Just don't want to lose any other places. All right. So along this line, anywhere there's an intersection, that's a good little start. You can just kind of create like, wait 1 second. I got to protect the extra fine tip here. I got to go get one of my older extra fine tips. As you guys know, I buy the black 1Ms in 3-packs because they wear down when you work on your rocks. And I like having the super nice crisp one. There we go. Oh, I'm right on the cusp, Jessica, 84. I'm a Goonies generation. I love that. So see this is one of the newer ones. All right. That's when I want to save that because I want the final pass through on these rocks to be nice, crisp, clean line. So for this, what I'm doing now doesn't matter. Look at this tip. It's definitely seen its better days. Look how much thicker that is. Look at next to that. But for what we're going to do, that's okay. So I always keep my extra fine tip paint pens like in a rotation, like as new as possible. And then when this first one gets a little more worn down, then I'll come back through and I'll open a brand new one. All right. So I start in the intersections, just kind of a little bit of an X on the intersections like that. And then you're going to go along your line almost in the same style we were doing those hearts. So we're going to trace down it kind of with almost like a bumpy little like tremory hand. So for some people, this could just be perfect. I have a hard time doing the straight lines. I know a lot of people do. So we're just kind of creating the line with just a little bit more accent to it. A little zhuzhin. Can't have any perfect lines on this rock. That's not the design. That's not how it's supposed to look at all, okay? Now, as far as the outline, I don't necessarily think you need to figure out how to have the straight lines on the bottom. If you can just kind of go along the edge and just kind of bump your way along to create an edge, because I do want a black edge. I don't want it to fall off the edge of the rock. So I'm just kind of bumping along, not overthinking it. Kind of have it kind of dip in from time to time. Anywhere I can, but I just want from the overhead look of it for it to have an edge. Okay. You can also do little hashes or little X's along the line if you want to. So you see how I did like a zigzag on there. Like if you want to just have like a little hash or something like that up there, you can. Very whatever you want style. Okay, so I'm going to work my way through all of these. So listen, okay, so if you're taking off, I'm going to tell you, so I'm going to do white and then black one last time. So if you're not going to be able to make it to the end. So white, fairly sloppy, and then the black. So the black you're going to do last, and you're going to take your time a little bit on it. So you only have one single line on your final lap through. So I'll probably do the lining on a couple of them that look nice and dry, and that the colors I don't think needs another layer. This guy's looking really good. So I'll probably finish that one up first, but we're gonna do just a couple more edges first to give it a little bit more dry time, because white can be very, it picks up other colors very easily. And you don't want to waste a bunch of paint doodling off the tip of your rock. It's nice that you can do that, but you don't want to intentionally have to waste a bunch of paint trying to get your paint through. So again, at intersections, a little bit of a bump, and kind of a bumpy line up. Add a little extra loop if you want to. All right, let's do one more. I really think I like this one a lot. I like all of them. Who am I kidding? You got your hair dryer, yeah. It's so noisy on the lives to use my hair dryer, so I try to avoid it if I can. If I ever use it, though, I promise I give plenty of warning so you can turn down your speaker. edge. Who knows, maybe as I finish up my other rocks, I haven't gone live over on TikTok in a long time. I don't know if any of you guys are over on TikTok, but I like it over there. Some pretty cool artists that I follow over there. All right, all the way around the edge here. Okay. All right. I think that I'm going to stop there because look, I'm complete this side. I'll complete this side during the live and I'll finish up these ones after. So let's see here. Which looks the most dry? They all look pretty dry. All right, so the white's pretty sketch. It's a very sketchy looking, but I do like the addition of the white in these rocks. It just lightens them up just a little bit. Hey, Cindy. Yes, late to the party. Almost an hour late. So we've been at it for a little while, but yeah, you could definitely watch the replay, the live replay, or I will shorten this for a Facebook style video here as well. All right, so next layer is going to be our white. So we are literally going to just trace over. Now this is a smaller tip than what we used for our color, so it should not cover the entire line. So if I go over this teal, it won't cover all of it, right? Don't worry about if you cover the black. Remember, we're doing black last, okay? So I am using a little bit more control with this. Okay, you can decide if you want to do the hash type things on the side with the white as well. And I am going to doodle off literally in between each one, even if it doesn't seem like I've picked anything up. You just want to make sure you're penciling really well with the white. Another thing, light touch. Don't push down super hard when you're using these, okay? Us boomers take our time. Yeah, you can do that. You can rewatch the whole live. You got time, right? All right, so we got our white on there. So the final layer is all we need left on this one. There we go. I am kind of using the side of my paint pen, not necessarily to make it thicker, but sometimes when you're dragging the point, it can try to pick up the other paint a little bit more. Don't worry about covering that black because we're going to do the black again. The black was just a holding space for us. Okay. Let's see. Oh, over here. Okay. Oh, am I even in? Make sure I'm in filming in the right area here. Oop, we got a little bit of dark into that. That doesn't look very white. Okay. Okay. All right. again, we don't want perfect hearts there. We're just taking our time on those a little bit just so that we're not, we want to make sure we're leaving enough paint behind. All right. So I think we can finish this guy up first down here. What did I do with my better extra? All right. All right, so the final coat on these. The last one is gonna be the black. You're gonna go ahead and add your little zhuzhes, your little hashes, your little markups on here, but you are gonna try to do your actual hearts intentional. Sloppy intention, right? Intentional with sloppiness. And it is kind of hard to trick your brain into this a little bit, but you can decide if you want to have the heart crisscross or whatever you want. Yes, exactly. That is my technical term. Should I trademark that? Intentional sloppiness. All right, so we'll start up here with this heart here. So I am going to try to get my one side all in one swoop. Okay. And then the other side on. Now, I'm not necessarily tracing my white. Sloppy intention. Intentionally sloppy. Yeah, you don't want to actually trace the white. You want it to land somewhere in between the two, okay? Now, we do have this little line over here. You can add to that with those, okay? You can add your little zigzag on your heart itself. This is when you get to play. You can pick up and add a couple dots along the way. Okay. I'll try to show you lots of different things you can do with these, all right? You can swoop it down and back up to add in a little loop on your heart. You can have an X at the bottom a little bit if you want to. I don't know if that was intentional down here or not, but we're going to add a little design on there. Add a couple dots on that one. A couple little hashes on there. Aren't these fun? You guys, you can add a little hash in your heart. They all have a little something on them. And then look for dead space, okay? So like right here, this looks like a bunch of dead space to me. So I'm just gonna add a couple little extra little lines down here, okay? They don't have to be overthought, okay? Oh, we got this little guy over here we did. Okay. And see how we had our little bumpy line? If you had like the pink leak over, you could have that bumpy line go into the pink. Okay. Really no rules to these. They're just fun and forgiving, and I can't wait to seal these up. You can have dots come off of the hearts. As you can tell, I can't draw my hearts while I'm talking when I'm trying to pay attention. You need a dash and dot inside your heart. And now these ones overlap. This one has this guy over here. Let's see here. Let's do one of the little, I don't know what I want to do here. It's like kind of spilled over, so I kind of feel like I should discontinue. This one has dots on the outside. And if you're having trouble, you can flip your rock and draw your hearts upside down. If you're like overthinking, like drawing the heart, if you flip your rock upside down, it kind of tricks your brain into not doing a pattern it knows all the time. Now this one, since I did the double, I'm actually going to do another second outline in this one. And then I'm going to have it do a figure in between them. Okay. You hash it. You can also do like little X's. This one I think is good enough, so I don't want to do anything extra on this one, but I'll do an X on one of these so you can see that too. Well, the design itself is a little sloppy, but the final one is like tracing something that's kind of sloppy can be tricky. This one has kind of a secondary, let's kind of do a zig over here. I do like the pick up, add a dot or two ones. Those are kind of fun. I do like those. My pen is getting a little, I think I'm just working too fast. I'm not letting these paints dry out enough underneath. Okay, I'm gonna zigzag there. Yeah, you could do just like a little, just like an X right on it. It's really that simple sometimes, okay? Get the dots there, we're gonna zigzag there. Maybe a little hashtag over here. All right. Whimsy, love it, live it, yes. Woo. All right, you guys. I think I am gonna stop there. I've been on over an hour already, but these are just fun and whimsical. You're right, whimsical. They're kind of pop art-ish to me. So I will make this obviously a quick shortened tutorial if you caught the end or you caught the beginning and not the end or whatever. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Again, the broadcast is how you'll get the links to the lives right away. Or you turn on the notifications here on YouTube and then you'll get the lives. But other than that, it's hard for me to just share the YouTube live links onto Facebook because nobody gets them. Facebook kind of shoves that to the back of the list. No, they don't usually have Posca at Hobby Lobby. I've never seen them there. I think Joann's, I think, had them for a little bit, but I just always get mine off Amazon. They're right to my door. I watch for sales, like the multi-pack that I got. The very first set of pens that I ever bought was the Posca multi-pack, and you got 5M, 3M, and 1M, and it was all the standard colors in all three of those sizes, and I paid like $90 for them. I would pay $90 for them again. I think they're only like 60 something when they go on sale sometimes. So like if you've never bought pens, like I still use pens out of that pack from 2017, 2018. So good, Michelle. I'm glad that you got to catch the live. Make sure you turn on notifications or follow the broadcast so that you can catch us again. Michael's has Posca now. They're locked up. I don't care. You could buy individual. Can you buy individual colors? Because that's kind of, sometimes like I'll have a favorite color out of a pack run out and it's like I still have the rest of the pack, so I don't want to buy a whole nother pack. But sometimes online the individual pens can be very pricey, so I'm kind of curious about that. I'll have to look. We have a Michael's near me. Okay, now I'm just blabbering on. Thanks everybody for watching. I can't really go back through these comments after the live is over. At least I can't figure out how to. So if you asked any questions that I didn't get to, find the replay, ask it there, and then I can answer. Durable supply company. I'll have to look into that one too. So, all right. Bye everybody. Thanks for watching. We will see you soon. I almost hit end on the iPad, which doesn't work. Gotta come up here and I gotta release ya so that I can hit the end button here.